All right, what's up, business builders? This week's video, we're talking about how to know what your pay rate should be. Obviously, you want to look at other moving companies across the industry, but what's even more important, I don't think enough people do this, is keeping a pulse on the pay rates within your local market of other businesses. Some of the first places that I would really start are finding out what are current pay rates, and I emphasize current because what people were paying in 2020 is not what they're paying now. Okay, very important to know, and that was not that long ago. Okay, so knowing what companies like Walmart are starting people out at, Lowe's, Target, Home Depot, like these types of big businesses that a lot of people go and get jobs at, figure out what are they starting people at. If they're starting people, and this is what's very common right now, if they're starting people at $16 or $17 an hour, and your company starts people at 13 or 14, like you're going to struggle because you're going to get guys that come in and you might interview and they might sound great, but then you tell them to come in for their first day of work and they ghost you. And the reason is they then go home and they think about it. And they're like, dude, I don't want to go do that for 13. Right? I could go to McDonald's and start off at 15. Now, every market or locale or region, is going to vary a little bit, right? What they're paying people to work at Jimmy John's up in New York City is going to be a little bit different than what they pay people at Jimmy John's in somewhere in South Carolina, right? So that's why it's so important. You need to shop the market. So honestly, what I would do once a year, maybe every 6 months, you figure out what frequency, but pretend you're an applicant. And there's a bunch of benefits to this. Pretend you're an applicant and go basically shop them, okay? Go do the interview and not just learn about like what they're starting off with their pay and what their benefits are and all that, but analyze their hiring process. These are large corporations. They have dozens of hundreds, probably thousands. I'm way off. They have thousands of staff members, management staff members that put together these hiring manuals and these hiring systems. Figure out, apply online, okay? See how long it takes them to get back to you. See what they say. Read the messages they send you. How do they communicate? How fast do they get you in for an interview? What do they ask you in the interview? Just shop everything they do. And on top of that, you can learn about what they're paying. Now, I would say you yourself could go do this once and then, every year you could just send, a manager out and say, hey, go shop, Target down, that's 10 minutes down the road. See what they're offering starting pay. And you all may think, I can already tell somebody's going to say this. Well, that's a waste of their time. You're wasting another business's time. Has it happened to you before? I'm sure it has. Okay, this is business tactics. Okay, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to outthink and outwit them. So, in my opinion, this is you surviving. Okay, this is you making sure that you're positioned well. You should not be in the dark on stuff like this. If you do not know what the current pay rates are for the other businesses around you, and I'm not talking about the Joe Blow business down here across the street that he pays people under the table. I'm talking about, companies that are going to have jobs listed online that a lot of people are going to apply to. Figure out get a pulse on what the market is at. Very important. And again, don't just do it, find out pay rates, starting pay rates, but then also shop their process, shop their system and their model. And you'll be surprised. You'll learn a ton. You'll end up acquiring so many tools. And when I say tools, skills, okay? So you'll learn how to interview better. You'll learn how to get to people faster. Or you may see what not to do, okay? You may go to their interview and now you're shopping them, you're pretending to be a job applicant, but you're going through the process and you now can see it through a different lens. But when you're the one interviewing, there's things you see, but there's things you don't see. And when you're on the other side of the table as the applicant and I'm being interviewed, you can then feel and see and hear some of the things that you think are good or maybe bad. Really great thing to do. Again, you should know the pay rates in your market and know what the price of labor is. I think that's the takeaway here. Know the price of labor in your market. You have to know this. It's just as important to know that as it is to know what other moving companies are charging that are near you. Okay, those two things are equally important. You should know how much other companies are charging to, position yourself. On a note of that, you should never be the cheap guy. You always want to be quality mover. But on the other end, the same way. Personally, I don't think you should be paying people less than everyone else, right? I mean, yeah, it's great for your margins, but long term, it's not that great of a move because people aren't going to want to stay there, or they're not going to feel like they're being valued and taken care of. So do this in order so that way you can charge a premium rate for a premium service and then keep premium people and pay them a premium rate. That's where you want to be. You want to have both sides of this, okay? And as long as you run a sound business, like on the numbers side, you're going to be profitable. So hope that helps, opens up your perspective on things, and we will see you on the next video.